Welcome everybody.
Good time zone.
Good time zone. Thank you all for joining us for our Curiosity Chill of Slavic Mythology.
Yes.
So each week on Tuesdays we pull a subject to study together, and last week you all chose Slavic mythology after we finished studying. Oh man, we've been doing Japanese mythology. We did Egyptian mythology. We're moving through the mythologies, team. We've done one before on Greek and Roman mythology before.
Yeah, and also, fun fact, Super Scree informed us that this will be the 102nd Curiosity Chill we've ever done.
Whoa. 102nd hype.
That's a lot of learning together.
That's a lot of learning. If that holds, the averages correctly, that means that we are at least 102 things smarter. We've learned at least 102 things. Does anybody have a favorite Curiosity Chill that we've done in the last 100 streams or so? Which was your favorite one? I mean, one that's coming to mind right now is that, do you know how sheep have rectangular pupils?
Do you know that sheep can also recognize people? They're very smart.
Do you know that sheep are actually in control of most of the world government?
Crystals, mind palace, cheese, Japanese mythology.
Oh, that's right, the monotremes, the platypus one. Japanese mythology was oxalotls. Oh yes, the history of pride. The one about
was really
memes,
good.
Ermengarde-Gersberms. The cheese stream was pretty fantastic, definitely.
Yes, I agree.
Sharks.
Yeah.
Sharks. We love to see sharks.
Flowers and their meanings. Mythology.
I love it. You guys are so great. Thank you for joining us and for learning a thing or two. And Susie Septiceye. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you so much for joining us on your birthday.
Yo, thank you for spending your special day with us. We will pull another subject at the end of the stream today. So if you'd like to recommend another subject we can study together, stay tuned. We'll do that right before we raid. And we have a little bit of a poll because we got a lot of awesome information we can learn about today.
Yeah, so the question is where to begin. So we love doing polls on this channel, and Brian's got one getting up.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. And Tracy J. Byron, thank you for being here for one whole year. My goodness. And Zbrag YT, thanks for cheering, just saying hi. Periodic Table Dancer is here and cheering. Singer TMN is here for 5 months. So happy to have you here.
There's the poll. Look at that. Type a number 1 into the stream chat on Twitch if you want to check out information about the gods and goddesses of Slavic mythology. Number 2 for an introduction to Slavic mythology, and I believe we have some like early creation myths and things there. And number 3 is monsters and creatures. What are you most interested in? We'll probably have time to cover a good amount of these subjects, at least 2 out of the 3. So shout them out in the chat. Let us know what you are most interested to learn about together.
Thanks.
Yo, Solid Snake, thank you for that gift sub to Lara Wife Forever. Appreciate you. And the Multivic one, Privyet, thank you for being here for 1 whole year. Spasiba. MJ's Watson is back for 3 years.
What?
Wow, making me feel like a pro streamer. MJ's, thank you for your awesome support and our whole mod team and our lieutenants. We're really grateful for your being here with us and learning a thing or two. And speaking of, the moderators will have links that they can share with you in the chat that are the same as what Amelia and I are reading from on the screen. If you'd like to do your own research, read along with us, or catch up on anything you might have missed.
Fornula is back for 35 months. Call Your Lies is back for 3. Actual Bunali is back for 4. And Nugget, thanks for being here for 4 months as well.
Thank you. Re3, thank you for cheering as always. Appreciate you being here. Thanks for the congrats on the 102nd Curiosity Chill. Solid Snake, awesome news. And Liquid Hand Sanitizer, thank you for the resub.
So it seems we're going to start with monsters and creatures and then go into the gods and goddesses.
All right.
And, yeah.
I dig it. So this is probably the simplest of the websites that we have. This is on fandom's mythos.fandom.com, which is a list of 42 awesome mythical creatures and beasts
Yeah.
of lore. So
Maybe I'm gonna make an executive decision to first start with the gods and goddesses, because that gives us a little bit more of an overview.
Okay.
And then go into the monsters and creatures, because I think just to understand a little bit more of the world.
oh,
before
my
we go
baby
in.
likes context.
I do like context.
My baby likes context. She wants this all to make sense. I think we can do that. Great idea.
Okay.
This, according to the website, is from dejaunter.com/Slavic gods and goddesses. It's an 11-minute read, so this will help us understand what all these monsters are all about. Mm-hmm. Let's get to it.
Okay.
So
Yes. Some mythologies are well known all around the world. Let's be honest, Zeus and Hades surely hold the honorary title of the rock stars of mythology. People from all over the world know at least a few facts about the,
vicissitudes.
thank you, of Greek and Roman mythology. Today, we will talk about a lesser known world, but one with just as many interesting stories to tell. Slavic mythology. So buckle up, all you fans of American gods and The Witcher. Prepare to meet the Slavic gods and goddesses of Slavic mythology.
Yo, and Hypo Elixir, thank you
so much.
Appreciate that gift sub, group hug, Hypo Elixir. And I see Sarah Newt also is very hyped with 5 gift subs as well. Thank you so much for your generosity, team. And if you guys got one of those gift subs, check out the starter kit. There's a panel down below the video that'll show you all the perks of being a sub and how to get to our subscriber chats on Discord. Yo, and Yosuzume Live, thank you for being here for 13 months in a row. Leslie Red Rhodey is cheering it. Let's get to it. Prepare yourselves. All right, so here we are looking at a painting entitled The Celebration of Svantovit in Rujana. When gods are at war, salvation is in the art, is the title. A brief history of Slavic mythology. The Discord is a link in the chat, and there's also a panel down below the video. It is usually declared that Slavic mythology and Slavic gods originate from Proto-Indo-European mythology, and it emerged during the 2nd to 1st millennium BCE. For that reason, Slavic mythology bears the same similarities to the Norse, Celtic, and Scythian mythologies and beliefs. Slavic mythology was most widespread just before the adaptation of Christianity in the year 988 CE. Still, after that, it took many years for a change to settle in, and there were many people who refused to transition to Christianity and stuck to their beliefs. These stalwarts became known as the pagans. The common group of the early Slavs was divided into East Slavs, residing in and around Kievan Rus, South Slavs on the territory of the Bulgarian Empire, Croatian Kingdom, and Bosnian Banate, and West Slavs, the Kingdom of Poland, the Czech Duchy, and the Principality of Nitra. Even though many Slavic deities and beliefs are mutually shared among these groups, there are also some noticeable differences from the influences of their neighboring cultures. And what's up? Happy birthday there. We got more double birthdays in the chat. What's going on? What's going on? And I see Miss Okami with a nice gift sub to Lo the Music Man. Logan, we love you, Lo.
Yeah, we do. Here's a fun fact. In the middle of the 20th century, a book emerged called the Book of Veles, with detailed descriptions of Slavic history and mythology. However, it was immediately proven to be a forgery. Now, nevertheless, even today, some Slavic neo-pagans decline all the accusations and use it as a genuine source of knowledge about Slavic mythology. The essence of Slavic beliefs. One of the interesting characteristics of Slavic mythology is the attitude of believers to their deities. Instead of building massive temples, churches, and monuments, and worshiping gods with elaborate prayers, the religion was deeply incorporated into everyday life. of highest importance were to cherish and respect nature, family, and ancestors. Slavs believed that the divine presence could be found anywhere, such as in nature and within people. That could also result in a developed belief in various spirits that inhabited the environment. Thanks, my love.
Mm-hmm.
Another important concept that can be traced to Slavic paganism is the cosmic dualism with the deities that oppose and complement each other at the same time. Kind of like an Eastern European version of yin and yang.
Here we are looking at a depiction from a 19th century woodcut Serbian newspaper.
Whoa.
Slavs serving their gods on the island of Rujan. Oh, I see a boar head on a spear.
Yep.
And smoke coming up. I see a vessel here, perhaps for some kind of drink or offering.
There's also some
Skulls.
skulls on the tree.
Skulls in the trees. That's your island? Look at you.
That's cool. And now, knowing the main idea behind the religion of old Slavic peoples, it is time to meet the pantheon of Slavic gods and goddesses.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you, my love. And Transwinks, thank you for the gift sub to Speed Girl. And I see Cobwebs and Flies with double gift subs to True Carpet and Endgame Vibes. Thank you, Cobwebs and Flies. It's very kind of you, team. The 20 most important Slavic gods and goddesses. It is hard to identify one supreme god in the Slavic pantheon. Not only are references scattered amongst dozens of manuscripts and documents from different places and times, but the divisions amongst the Slavs also brought about some ambiguity on the topic. There are 4 main candidates for this position, though which might have replaced each other over time. You'll meet these and other important Slavic deities now. Rod. Some scientists claim that Rod was considered to be the creator of the universe and everything it embraces, as well as the father of all Slavic gods and deities for East Slavs. However, he lost his importance in the 10th century and was usually replaced with Peron and Svarog.
Ooh, interesting. Head Pigeon says that Rod literally means bloodline in Russian.
Oh, wow. So the bloodline of all.
Yes. Rozanisi or Rozanitsty. Okay. The female form of Rod, Rozanitska, they are usually mentioned in the plural form, as it is considered that they are 3 of them. In many Slavic religions, they are the goddess of fertility and destiny and the mothers of the world. The term Rozanika comes from the woman who gives birth. Rozanika, yes.
Nice.
Thank you.
Sud, the supreme god in South Slavic mythology. Sud, literally, judge, was the god of fate and had the same resume as Rod for the East Slavs.
Sudenisi, same as with Rozanisi, right? Okay, sorry. Same as with Rozanisi, there were 3 goddesses associated with Sud and were considered to be his daughters. They determined the fate for each newborn.
Belobog or Chernobog. Remember the dualism I mentioned before? Belobog and Chernobog might be the best example of it. Belobog, which literally means white god, was believed to be the god of the day, summer, light, and goodness. Cherobog, au contraire, thanks for slipping a little French in my Slavic stream, being a black god accountable for that of night, dark, and winter. They are in constant battle, which results in a shift from day to night and in the change of the seasons. They are inseparable, and together they create life itself and maintain harmony in the universe. Wow.
Wow. Okay. So apparently the letter C is pronounced as TS.
Aha. So Cernobog. Yeah? Cernobog. So interesting that we have this, in Greek mythology, we saw the same kind of a thing with the good old, hang tight, the Greek mythology, we have Apollo and Artemis, twins of the sun and the moon. In Japanese mythology, we learned about the moon is chasing after the sun
yes.
the entire time, and we have a similar thing going on here.
Okay. Also, if it's CH, it's pronounced CH, but if it's a solo C, then it's t. Okay. So thank you so much for the pronunciation help and tips. We really appreciate it. Perun. It is believed that Perun is the supreme god during the existence of the Kievan Rus, though he was also known and honored amongst West and South Slavs under variations of his name. Perun was the god of lightning and thunder and a patron of the Kievan Rus prince, Kianz, and his army. Perun is also associated with an oak tree.
Veles. Like Perun, Veles was well known for all Slavic groups, and these two have had a tumultuous history. Veles rules over cattle, but he is also the god of commerce, poetry, art, magic, and the underworld. As opposed to Perun, who was the patron of nobility, Veles looks after the common people. Some experts state that he was considered the main nemesis of Perun, and they had an ongoing fight. But Veles is not contemplated as an evil god. Remember dualism? Also reminds one of the kerfuffle between two fabled Norse gods. Yes, anybody want to guess which two fabled Norse gods keep this back and forth going?
Svarog. Another contestant for the title of chief god, Svarog is the god of heaven and fire and the creator of the world. East and West Slavs believed that he was a blacksmith and taught humanity how to use a plow.
Hey, Mad Lass, welcome back for 11 months. Thank you for being here. We appreciate your support all this time.
Yeah.
Dazbog. The son of Svarog, Dazbog was believed to be a deity of the sun, wealth, and prosperity. He was mentioned in many manuscripts and legends of the East Slavs.
Horse. Yet another god whose story gets a little complicated. Horus, or Jutrobog, was believed to be a deity of the heavenly body. Which one? That's the question researchers are still not sure about. Some believe that he was a patron of the sun. Others specifically state that he was a god of the winter sun, but most agree that he was a lunar god and acted as a match to the sun deity Gazbog.
Svetoid, which sounds like an awesome name for an android. Let's find out. Pictured with 4 faces, okay, overlooking 4 sides of the world, whoa. Svetovoid was the god of war, sun, fire, and fertility for West Slavs. Some researchers reckon that he could be a counterpart of Perun, Dazbog, or Svarog.
Wow.
Whoa. Okay, so a 4-headed face. This reminds me of who is the Janus in Roman mythology, right? I think two-faced god, right? Janus is a 2-headed god. So multiply that by this is Janus. So I guess you'd have. I want to see this guy.
Look at a picture of him.
That's what I'm looking up. Svetoid. Let's see. I want to see how you pull off 4 heads looking in 4 different directions.
Oh, there's a...
There it is. This one here?
Yeah.
Look at that.
Whoa.
Allow. Here we go, looking in all different directions. And this reminds me of something we saw when we went to Peterhof. There are the two-headed eagle is very common in Russia. I think it's even on.
Yeah, it's
like,
Russian.
like a Russian seal, right? Looking in both directions. And how did they accomplish this? On top of the spires, on top of the palace, Peterhof Palace, there were. If anytime you looked at the top of the towers, there were heads of the eagles looking in two directions, no matter how you're looking at the castle or the palace. And how they accomplish this is by actually having 3 eagles on on 3 different sides of the thing. So no matter what side you're looking at it, it looks like there's 2 eagles looking in opposite directions.
Yeah, interesting.
In any case,
Cool.
interesting. Okay,
Here we go.
who dis?
Devanya. Devanya was the Slavic goddess associated with forests and hunting, comparable with the Greek goddess Artemis and the Roman goddess Diana. She was presumably one of the West Slav goddesses. However, the existence of Devana in the Slavic pantheon is controversial, as many researchers declare that there is not enough evidence to acknowledge the fact of it. Well, I don't like that. I make it official.
Oh, Amelia's made it official.
Yes,
and our friends are telling us is on the coat of arms. The Russian coat of arms has the double-headed eagle. Marena. Marena, or Mara, was a Slavic goddess of death and rebirth, of nature in spring. Sometimes her persona was associated with rain and water.
Mokosh. For Slavs, Mokosh was the most important Slavic goddess and had many functions. She was a patron of needlework, women, the fate of children, childbirth, earth, water, and fertility. Experts claim that she was either a wife of Perun or Veles, or may be associated with both of them.
Lada. Lado. Another example of dualism, Lada was the Slavic goddess of love, marriage, beauty, and fertility. In many songs and manuscripts, she is accompanied by Lado, who is either her twin brother, husband, or son. Sometimes only the masculine version, her counterpart, was mentioned.
Kresnik. The Slavic deity for fire and of the sun for South Slavs, he was considered to be the son of Svarog. Many think he was a Slovenian equivalent for either Perun or Yarilo.
Radagast. Radagast was the Slavic god of hospitality and strength for West Slavs.
Stribog. For East Slavs, Stribog was a grandfather and the Slavic god of wind, storm, and air. He was worshipped by sailors and asked to provide good weather for safe passage, similar to other travel gods and goddesses in other pantheons.
I see Abdarko asking a question saying, is little known about Slavic mythology because it wasn't recorded?
Yes.
Great question. And it was sort of wiped out by Christianity, who replaced much of Slavic mythology with an idea of these are pagans and therefore hedonists and not of a one Christian God.
Yeah.
So a lot of this is wiped out by Orthodox Christianity.
Yeah.
And iRobot IQ, thank you for 10 gift subs. That's very generous of you, friend.
Thank you so much, iRobot.
Welcome aboard, everybody. And if you got one of those gift subs, iRobot IQ says, enjoy. Oh, that's very kind of you, friend. Thank you. And be sure to check out the starter kit. It'll show you the way around the channel.
And Fairy Key, thanks for subscribing.
Yeah, welcome to the channel. Yarilo was East Slavs' god of fertility, the spring sun and the awakening of nature in springtime. Usually people seek Yarlo's patronage to have a bountiful harvest and a warm summer.
Koliada. It is not certain if Koliada was included in the Slavic pantheon, as she was included in traditional celebrations of the New Year and was a personification of a New Year's cycle. Still, many researchers suggest that she was not considered a Slavic goddess, only one of the Slavic mythological characters. Well, that's our quick overview of Slavic mythology and some of the deities associated with the Slavic mythological pantheon. We hope that you enjoyed it and found it useful.
Yay! Thank you, D. Jaunter website. I'm going to just double check on how quick this one is. I'm going to read this fast because I feel like this is valuable context, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and then we'll get lost in the beasts and creatures.
Yeah, agreed.
Typical Bryan to pull you and then be like, actually,
We're gonna do
the opposite in the exact opposite order. Singer TM, thank you very much for being here in the cheers. We're grateful you can join us when you can. Here's our intro to Slavic mythology before we get to Baba Yaga, because I see the hype for that Baba Yaga. Mm-hmm. Early Slavic mythology has been a challenge for historians to study. Unlike many other mythologies, there is no existing original source material because the early Slavs left no records of their gods, prayers, or rituals. However, secondary sources, mostly written by monks during the period in which the Slavic states were Christianized, have provided a rich cultural tapestry woven with the mythology of the religion. The key takeaways. The old Slavic mythology and religious systems lasted for about 6 centuries until the arrival of Christianity. Most Slavic myths feature gods who have dual and opposite aspects. A number of seasonal rituals and celebrations are held according to agricultural cycles, so that of growing crops.
It is believed that Slavic mythology can trace its roots back to the Proto-Indo-European period, and perhaps as far back as the Neolithic era. The early Proto-Slav tribes split into groups, consisting of the East, West Slavs, and South Slavs. Each group created its own distinct set of localized mythologies, deities, and rituals based upon the beliefs and legends of the original Proto-Slavs. Some of the Eastern Slavic traditions see some overlap with the gods and practice of their neighbors in Iran.
The predominant Slavic indigenous religions structure lasted for about 600 years. In the late 12th century, Danish invaders began to move into Slavic regions. The bishop Absalon, the advisor of King Vladimir I, was instrumental in replacing the old Slavic pagan religion with Christianity. At one point, he ordered the toppling of a statue of the god Svantavet at a shrine in Arkona. This event is considered the beginning of the end of ancient Slavic paganism.
There are numerous deities in Slavic mythology, many of whom have dual aspects. The deity Svarog, or Rod, is a creator and considered a father god to many other figures in Slavic mythology, including Perun, a god of thunder and the sky. His opposite is Veles, who is associated with the sea and chaos. Together, they bring balance to the world. There are also seasonal deities, like Jarilo, who is associated with fertility of the land in spring, and Marzana, the goddess of wintertime and death. Fertility goddess, like Mokosh, watch over women, and Zoria represent the rising and setting sun at dusk and dawn each day.
Oh, and I'm happy to see, Nakiro, that you're happy to get your island is mentioned here. Shout out to all of our friends who live in this part of the world, and that this is part of your own ritual and customs. Shout it out if you recognize any of these things from celebrations or from your own day-to-day or seasonal life. Let us know. Many Slavic rituals in the old religion were based on agricultural celebrations, and their calendar followed the lunar cycles. During Veljanok, which fell around the same time that we celebrate Easter today, the spirits of the dead wandered the earth, knocking on the doors of their living relatives, and shamans put on elaborate costumes to help keep evil spirits from doing harm. During the summer solstice, or Kopala, a festival was held involving an effigy set alight in a great bonfire. This celebration was associated with the wedding of the fertility god and goddess. Typically, couples paired off and celebrated with sexual rituals to honor the fertility of the land. At the end of the harvest each year, priests created a huge wheat structure. Scholars disagree on whether or not this was a cake or an effigy, and placed it in front of the temple. The high priest stood behind the wheat and asked people if they could see him. No matter what the answer was, the priest would plead to the god that the following year the harvest would be so bountiful and big that no one would be able to see him behind the wheat. I like that. It's like, how do we know if we have enough wheat? You can't see the priest.
The creation myth. Whoa. In the Slavic creation myth, in the beginning, there was only darkness, inhabited by Rod and an egg that contained Svarog. The egg cracked open, and Svarog climbed out. The dust from the shattering eggshell formed the sacred tree, which rose to separate the heavens from the sea and the land. Svarog used gold powder from the underworld, representing fire, to create the world full of life, as well as the sun and the moon. The debris from the bottom of the egg was gathered and shaped to make humans and animals. In different Slavic regions, there are variations of this creation story. They almost always include two deities, one dark and one light, representing the underworld and the heavens. In some tales, life is formed from an egg, and in others, it comes out of the sea or the sky. In further versions of the story, mankind is formed from clay, and the god of light forms angels, and the god of darkness creates demons to provide balance.
Popular myths. There are numerous myths in Slavic culture, many of which focus on the gods and goddesses. One of the best known is that of Zernobog, who was the incarnation of darkness. He decided he wanted to control the world and the entire universe as well, so he turned into a great black serpent. Svarog knew that Zernobog was up to no good, so he took up his hammer and forged and created additional gods to help him stop Zernobog. When Svarog called for aid, the other gods joined him to defeat the black serpent. Veles was a god who was banished from the heavens by the other gods, and he decided he would get his revenge by stealing their cows. Oldest trick in the book. He called up the witch Baba Yaga, who created a massive storm that made all of the cows fall from heaven down to the underworld, where Veles hid them in a dark cave. A drought began to sweep the land, and people became desperate. Perun knew that Veles was behind this chaos, so he used his sacred thunderbolt to defeat Veles. He was eventually able to free the heavenly cows, take them back home, and restore order to the land.
In popular culture, there has recently been a... Oh,
That's a Baba Yaga there.
This is Baba Yaga right here.
Who this?
Baba Yaga.
Baba Yags.
Recently, there has been a resurgence in the interest in Slavic mythology. Many modern Slavs are returning to the roots of their ancient religion and celebrating their culture and traditions of old. In addition, Slavic myths have made its appearance in a number of pop culture mediums.
Like what?
Like video games such as the Witcher series.
Yeah!
And Thea the Awakening are heavily influenced by Slavic folktales. And Baba Yaga shows up in Rise of the Tomb Raider.
Ooh, spoilers.
In films like Disney's Fantasia features a sequence called Night on Bald Mountain, in which Cernobog is the great black demon. Yes! And a number of successful Russian movies like The Finest, The Brave Falcon, and The Last Night all draw from Slavic legends. In the Starz television series American Gods, based on Neil Gaiman's novel of the same name, both Zorya and Chernobog play important roles.
Love it, Baba Yaga. You love it. Okay, you want more Baba Yaga facts? Here we go. look at this, team. This is on mythos.fandom.com. If you want to check it out, this is the next link the mods will share with you. Yes, I do want to play a little Gwent right now, but first we're going to learn about Baba Yaga. I'm jumping down. Baba Yaga, tell me the news.
Baba Yaga is a witch known in Eastern Slavic countries. In majority of tales, she is represented as an evil being who ride either broom or mortar, wields a pestle and scares and eats children. However, in very few tales, she gives her wisdom to protagonists. She lives in a forest hut with chicken legs. Yeah.
Wait, the hut has chicken legs?
The hut has chicken legs.
Hold on, I gotta see Baba Yaga's hut.
Baba Yaga.
Baba Yaga's hut?
Baba Yaga's hut.
Baba Yaga's hut
With
looks
chicken
like...
legs. Oh, yeah.
Okay, wait a second.
Yep.
Didn't we see a hut like this in Final Fantasy? Isn't there a house with legs in Final Fantasy VII? Didn't I fight a house?
Yes, you did,
Like
actually.
this?
You definitely did.
All right. Okay, guys, if you ever see a house with chicken legs, don't go in.
Or
No, just don't.
ask for some wisdom.
Just don't go in. All right, back to here we go.
Yeah.
So there's a ton on this page. I'm gonna feature the ones with images next to them.
Okay.
But we'll see. This first one here is pictured here. This is Azdaya. Yeah?
Yeah.
Azdaya is a demonic version of Zme, the dragon, created from the serpent that lived up to 100 years or eaten by another one. Usually in stories, they have an odd number of heads, rarely two. They spit fire, have a terrible roar, and have an evil look on their faces. Yeah. They live in caves or mountains from where they escape and cause hailstorms or devour humans or cattle. They are known in Slavic and European pagan folklore that Christianity adopted as its perfect image for evil, being greedy and hungry all the time, and extremely hostile towards all living beings.
Alkonost.
Who's pictured here.
Alkonost comes from Russian folklore, and she lives in Irie, heaven. She is represented as a bird with head and torso of a woman who has a beautiful voice and is sending messages from the other world. During winter, she lays eggs on seashores, then drops them on the bottom of the sea. At that moment, the sea is calm. But after 7 days, when the eggs hatch, strong storms are wreaking havoc. By that, Alkonost is responsible for weather. By her look, she is similar to Gamayan and Siren.
All right. Here's some other news, team. Y'all know Baba Yaga, but do you know Baba Roga? Baba Roga, not to be mistaken with Baba Yaga, is a creature known among the southern Slavs. She is represented as very ugly, hunchbacked old woman with a horn on her head, who lives in dark caves. According to folk tales, Baba Roga likes to steal naughty children and bring them to her lair.
Balachoko. Balachoko is a 3-headed giant from Serbian tales. From one head, he could spit fire. From a second one, he could breathe cold wind. When he depletes his magical weapons, he was pretty easy to kill.
Okay, but what about his third head? What his third head can do?
Nothing.
His third head can do nothing?
He talks to you.
He talked to you with his third head? One head give you fire, one head gave you cold wind, the other head only talking?
Yes.
It's easy to kill. Bok. Bok is a creature from Slavic southern beliefs, especially from Serbian beliefs. Parents used to scare their children with him. Anybody, parents scared you with Bok? The parents scared their children with Bach. The word Borjati is used when somebody walks weirdly. Bach had a weird walk and lived in dark places, in holes, and abandoned houses where he preys upon humans and eats them.
Oh, okay.
The only way to banish Bach is to use light and noise. English words that are close to Bach is like an ogre.
Ah.
So beware the ogre.
Beda. Beda is a demon from southern Slavic folklore that is a far descendant from ghosts and close to Chuma. She wanders across the world, attacks people, and tortures them. There are sayings that Beda found them, or Beda follows them from cradle to grave. Beda is bony and a slimy creature that breeds very quickly, likes to steal things from people, and dig them deep into the ground.
Ooh la la la. Besomar. Besomar is a demon that is connected to disgust and hatred, that has had similarities with werewolf or vampires. Sometimes historians mistake Besomar with them, saying that it's just another name for the same demon. But the name is made up of Bes, anger and rage, with Mora, torture and death. Some historians say Besomar is king of all best spirits, while some say it's just another name for the Chernobog. Chernobog?
Mm-hmm. Bes is a demon from Serbian folk tales. Its name in English is literally anger. They like to possess people and animals, causing extreme rage in them. Bes is evoked when somebody threads on Sunday or spits on fire. Name Bes is a very old one for a demon and is known in all mythologies on Earth.
A vampire.
Yes.
Vampire or vampire is the only Serbian word accepted in all the world's languages. Everybody knows them as human-shaped undead blood drinkers with fangs that pop up in most RPG games, cartoons, anime, and movies. But original Slavic vampire is much different from their Hollywood siblings. They usually come from people who are either truly evil while alive, or who ended their lives with being tortured. Sometimes evil spirits possess the bodies of innocent people, and their living corpse or their ghost, the belief is depending on the religion, comes to vampires' hometowns and attacks people, sustaining themselves with flesh and blood. Unlike their siblings from pop culture, vampires are not charming and sparkling aristocrats who wear goth-like clothes and act very calm and seductive towards their victims, nor do they make war with werewolves, nor do they have just two fangs. The original vampires come from all classes of society and wear whatever they brought to the grave. They never make a relationship with mortals and act very violent in search of blood, ripping off the victim's throat, almost beheading them with their sharp teeth, much like a werewolf relatives. And their faces turn red when they are full.
Ooh.
While werewolves had human shadow and mirror images, vampires don't have it at all. Although they don't shift into bats, vampires originally shape-shifted into butterflies or moths, as they have a habit of gathering around moonlight. That shifting into bats is a Hollywood thing because vampire bats exist in the New World. The most known vampire is Petar Blagovic. He's going to haunt me for saying that. Blagovic. Petar's going to get me. Tonight I'm going to have... He was a villager that lived in a Serbian village who died in 1725 and became a vampire a few weeks later. The village was under reign of Austro-Hungarian Empire, and every human that died during the plague was apparently caused by him. So they blamed this Petar vampire. Thanks to Petar, vampires became known and beyond Slavic territory. The only common thing between the original and Hollywood vampires is their treatment. They can be banished with garlic and holy crosses and water, and they can be killed by either beheading or stabbing in the chest with a stake made from the whitehorn tree.
Well, the Vila, or the fairy, is a creature from southern Slavic beliefs that is usually benign to humans. She is imagined as a very beautiful and eternally young girl with a bird or a butterfly wings, golden hair, white dress, and armed with bow and arrows. By beliefs, her power was in her hair. She lives far from humans, in forests, close to lakes and rivers, or in the clouds. It is believed that Vila was born from the dew, certain flowers, or when rainbows appear on the sky. She could transform into any animal, especially falcon, wolf, swan, or mare. She could be seen riding horses or elks in hunting, but very often could be seen dancing in a circle with other Vile. She could seduce heroes in fairy tales or sometimes be their sisters-in-law, healing their wounds with various herbs that are created in battles. Human girls used to appease her for beauty or protection. Vila hardly forgives insults and could kill the offender with her eyesight or bow and arrow. Even in cases when she causes evil things, she still remains beautiful and seductive. She can become loyal to humans by stealing her clothes. What? Or she could become an ordinary woman if somebody takes out her wings. It is believed that seeds from the garlic plant give her eternal youth. During times of the new moon, she becomes similar to Rusalka and therefore dangerous to humans.
Ooh la la. Well, there are probably, I think, 40 or 50 monsters and 42. The Chort. The Chort. I've come across a Chort. The Chort is a demon in Russian folklore whose name passed into similar worded Russian swearing. Chort. It's like damn. It is usually represented as a human with goat's hind legs, a long tail, and a goat's horns, bringing misery onto anyone that encounters them and destroys their property. It looks adapted into Christianity for the devil. And it's one of the monsters in the Witcher 3 game. It's true. Shirt. There you are. So, my friends, if you want to check it out, this is on mythos.fandom. There are a ton of cool monsters and creatures from Slavic mythology that you can study there. And Tiny Chubby Bird, welcome back for... thank you for the gift subs. Thank you for the double gift subs. That's very generous of you. We are going to do a little pop quiz before we poll what we're going to study on next Tuesday. Let's do this again tomorrow. I love Curiosity Chill. This is
too.
Probably one of my favorite things we've done with Twitch. I really enjoy this.
So, pop quiz. What is something that you learned today about Slavic mythology?
Yeah, shout it out in the chat. What's it gonna be, team? What's it gonna be? What'd you learn? Baba Yaga has a hut with chicken legs. Yes.
I didn't know that basically Slavic mythology was wiped out from the history books. And
or moreover was not really written down in enough history books, so therefore it was not defensible.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, that's the thing about a lot of spoken and traditionally passed on oral traditions,
That garlic versus vampires is canon, yes.
That's right. Apparently so.
Yeah.
And Nasir Frey 365, that was interesting. Thank you for shedding lights on the different cultures and information. Baba Yaga.
Duality is very important. Yes, that's very true. Having the dark and the light, the yin and the yang. That most of its history is unrecorded due to the rise of Christianity. The Witcher has a lot of things from Slavic mythology. Butterflies transformed, vampires transformed into butterflies.
Yeah, I like that image. That's interesting.
yeah.
Cause, and moths because they were swirling around the moonlight.
Most of it was unrecorded. The stuff about the vampires was really interesting.
Oh, well, happily, Lala. Thank you for being here. I'm very, very glad you can join us.